What's up, y'all? Kirk Gibson here. All I got to say is I told you so. The women's final was the best game. If you haven't watched it, check out the U.S. women versus the Colombian women. It was a great, just an outstanding final. Really kind of mimicked the World Championship finals in Cincinnati 2 years ago, where San Francisco's Fury, played Colombia's Revolution. Just a great final overall. As I suspected, the men's and the mixed division, I don't want to call them snoozers, but we just knew that the USA men were just the cream of the crop against the rest of the world. And then the mixed division just had a really, really strong team, and just nobody could hang with them. But it was the Colombian women who I called it, even though they won in TEP and they won in pool play. They upset them. Turned out just to be an amazing final. The U.S. women were able to pull it out. So we're going to break down some of the footage here so you can check it out and what made this game so great and why it was so exciting to watch. We had, obviously, the Cardenas twins just balling. Yina didn't have her best game, but certainly does so many things well for them. Just the defensive intensity from the U.S. women and Claire Trop. She's just really good. Really, really good. So I'm going to break down just a couple points here just so I can show you some things that I saw that are really good that both teams do. We're going to get some Claire Trop and Manuela Cardenas matchups, one-on-one matchups, see what came of that. And then just some things that could have changed the game and swayed the game towards Colombia that were missed opportunities. So let's get into it. All right, so it's 5-3. Colombia just had one of their players go off the field, so they had a sub. There's a stoppage. And they're about halfway down the field. But what I want to show you here is just Colombian women do such a good job. It just shows kudos to Mauricio Moore, their coach. He's been their coach for a long time. They're just, obviously, they're super talented, but they're really well coached. Obviously, the U.S. women are the deepest team in the whole country, the whole world, and Colombia certainly has to play the Cardenas sisters a lot, Yina a lot, to keep up. But they're just so well coached. You can just see it. They move quick, but they're on the same page. So I want you to just take a look at how many fakes that they throw on this point. They're going upwind, so not easy, but just want you to take a look and see how quickly this happens. All right, so here we go. You've got Laura Espina right here. She's got the disc, fake, throws it to Valeria, throws a little fake, throws it off. Got it here on the side. Another big fake. Beautiful inside out to Yina. There's a fake. Right, every time they get the disc, they're throwing a fake. Up, fake, throws it. Watch, here's a fake. There's a fake. Mark's got to move again. There's another fake. Mark moves. Yina's got it again. Now watch this. Fake, pivots out. Mark moves back to the flick and just throws a nasty backhand right there. Ladies and gentlemen, that is an unbelievable throw. It is probably the most underrated throw in the game, and Yina makes it look easy. So just watch. She's right here. I'm just going to play it. Just throws it perfect. I'm just going to watch that one more time. I just love what she does here. All right, she catches it right here. Fakes. See, the mark is going to shift. Shifting back over. Right? And then she's just going to pivot out. She's got the beat. Manuela's cutting over there. And look, this is where she releases it. I've talked about this in previous videos. Right at just above the knee. It's basically straight across from her body. It's not high. It's not down here by the ankle. And she just has a little bit of angle on it. And it's going to land right around Manuela's shoulder level. Is just perfect. Just sits out there and she can go get it. I mean, that is upwind. It was windy day and just a beautiful set of upwind offense. So you've got to use your fakes to move the mark. When you move the mark, it makes it easier to get breaks off. All right, so it's the next point. Now the U.S. is going upwind, and this is really the beginning of Claire Trop versus Manuela. It was an outstanding matchup ball game, but I'm just going to play it here. You see Claire Trop right here. Manuela's guarding her. Just the speed on both sides. So she pauses, goes for the break, and then realizes Manuela's playing on the break side. So I'm just going to cut here. And she is going to, I mean, it was a short pass. And here she just goes at it with one hand and just goes completely right underneath her arm. And it's unfortunate because she really could have gotten there with both hands. I mean, it was a short throw. She's moving fast, so it was kind of a split-second decision. But this is right near the goal line, and Colombia's going to get this and score. But again, I did a video on this last week in the AUDL championships of just in championship finals, catching fundamentals is super important. If you can catch it with two hands, catch it with two hands. If you can catch it with two hands, catch it with two hands. And Claire just, maybe she thought that she couldn't. It looks to me like she definitely could have gotten two hands on it and just tries to caress it with one hand and just misses it. So it's an unfortunate mistake for Claire there, and Colombia ends up scoring. So again, utilize those pancakes. If you can, utilize two hands. Super, super important. All right, so Colombia picked up the disc after Claire's drop, and Manuela's got it right here. She's going to swing it, and then you're going to see, okay, this is, again, teaching moment. I'm going to play this in full speed. You're going to see your layout and go with it with two hands, which is a good thing normally, but on a layout, I always recommend do not pancake layout. That is not a good idea. So I'm going to try to play it in slow motion so you can see what happens here. But you can see she gets off a nice swing. All right. So you're going to see she's going for it. Nice. And so, okay, her arms are basically nearly fully extended. Her left arm is fully extended. Her right arm is a little bent, but she's basically laying out for it. And in this situation, I do not recommend, if you are having to get off of your feet and you're going to land on the ground with your arms like this and your hands like this, it is very easy to do this, or your elbow shoots up on one side or your left elbow, whichever way. I don't recommend that at all. The best way to catch a layout pass is with either two hands, or if you have to, one hand. The reason why one hand is obviously acceptable is because you can turn your shoulders and you can reach forward with one of your hands more than if you had both shoulders up. If you literally just stick your hands up in the air and then you put one down and one up, you can move one shoulder down and one shoulder up, so you get farther, right? But if you're laying out and you're doing a pancake, it's too easy to miss. You're pancaking away from your body, and it just not a smart play. So again, I think she was doing everything she could to try to secure it, but it's a much higher percentage to catch it if you do go at it with two hands like a claw, or just one hand at the bottom of the rim or top of the outside of the rim, whichever way kind of works best. So obviously Colombia does go on to score here, but just a missed opportunity there, and just something to keep in mind next time you're laying out. All right, so this part is, so it's 7-7. Manuela's coming down to guard Claire, and this is just a great point. Both players are all-world players, and it's just an awesome point. So I'm just going to play it for you, but this is play it really quick here. You're just going to see an immediate collision and foul call. I'm kind of laughing. I mean, I've seen this, I've replayed it a couple times here, but I think it's just good to watch again because it was a long talk to see if it was a foul. And basically, you're going to see Claire she's got all this space. So I'm just going to do this so you can kind of see it. But you're going to see Claire's going to try to start left first. She's going to start coming here and then go back in because she sees Manuela trying to get in her way. But you're going to see Manuela start that way and then go back when she sees Claire change her when she changes her trajectory. So just watch. So Claire's starting left, Manuela goes, then she sees Claire pivots on her left foot. Now she's going this way to try to go around Manuela's left shoulder. But Manuela just says, nope, I'm here, and I'm going to shuffle and then end up right there. So Claire was obviously, upset, called foul. Manuela was kind of like, hey, I'm standing here, and to me, it looked like a foul. I mean, it's very easy to be like, hey, I wasn't moving, but in basketball, to me, that would have been a moving pick violation. So, but both super tough. I think there might have been some blood drawn there, and Claire gets up and keeps riling, which, this is what happens against the best players, Claire, I think, gets fired up because, so I'm going to fast forward a little bit. And after this conversation, it goes for a while. They're still talking about it. Now we got an ad. Still talking about it, which, by the way, is a totally separate conversation, but we gotta get observers here at WIF Diff. This goes on for a long time. All right, so we're just going to follow. This is what we're going to do. You're just going to watch Claire this whole point. Now, Manuela is all-world defender, all-world player. And Claire doesn't get the disc much this point, but I just want you to watch her. 37. She's going to run Manuela all over this field. Manuela does a good job, but it just shows the talent that Claire has because she's going to get the best of her in this matchup on this point. So just watch. Claire's going to run. Just keep an eye on her. Right here. All right, doesn't get it. She was open, doesn't get it. Claire's still running. She looks like she's just on a different playing speed, her and Manuela. The rest of the field, watch. Oh, all right, doesn't get it. She's up here now. All right, she's waiting, doing a good job moving. She's off the screen now. There's Claire. You're going to see her. Okay, open for a little bit. All right, gets it back. Here's Claire, still moving. She's still going. And then still pushes it. And finally, Manuela just had to give up. It was just that last point. I'm just going to replay that. You're going to see Claire come from the left side of your screen and watch. Manuela kind of stumbles a little bit. Claire goes almost full speed to this way, full speed back for half. That was awesome. I mean, that is just all-world play right there from Claire Trop. And just so cool to watch. There's going to be more of that later in this game. All right, so the U.S. just turned it. So there's a break chance for Colombia. So they actually put somebody else on Claire on this point. But I love this. This is how you know Claire is just one of the best. So she switches back onto the Manuela matchup and says, no, I'm going to take her. I'm not going to let her score. So you got to give her props for that. So not much is going to happen here, but you're just going to see kind of Claire right here, just guarding Manuela. Nothing really. Colombia just slowly working their way up the field. So now I'm going to just let it play from here. So now Manuela's got it right here. Claire's right here. And this is where it's going to get fun. And just watch Manuela. It just shows she's going to go right back at Claire. She's going to full speed up the line. Stop. Boop. And just jukes her just right out of her shoes. And, I mean, that was just so killer. I'm going to replay that. So you're just going to see Manuela's going to set up kind of like getting a running start, making this really hard to guard. And then she accelerates straight towards the goal line, forces Claire to open up. She's got to open up. And then, I mean, that's just a ridiculous move. So, Claire got the best of her a few points ago. Manuela doing the same. This is just two of the world's best going at it. This was super fun to watch. All right, so it's 10-9. This is a multi-turnover point, but Colombia's up 10-9. They were up 10-8. U.S. just scored on their own point. They're on D right now. And Colombia's near the end zone, and this is an important point, and this may or may not have, one could argue, Colombia the championship. So we're going to watch this point right here. I'm going to play it. Ian's got it right there in the center of the field. She swings a nice backhand right there, and a drop, a fundamental pancake just drop by Torres. Totally unfortunate. Just so unfortunate. It's just tough to watch there. So it was a little behind her. Laura was definitely upset. Like, how did you miss that one? So you can see it right there. Like, oh, how'd you miss that? Yeah, I think that was definitely one you don't want to miss at all. But let's just watch that replay because let's see if the fundamental. Now it was a little behind her, so we're just gonna, you can see right there. So it's obviously behind. So Torres has to kind of turn her shoulders a little bit. Well, let's just see. We're going forward. One more frame. And she had both hands on it. So it looks like her right hand is not centered over her left. Kind of hard to tell, but anyways, drops it there, unfortunately. So huge, obviously, bummer. You see Laura say, oh, why'd you do that? But that could have cost it. So Colombia would have been up 11-9. What ends up happening is the U.S. women end up going down in scoring, and it ends up being a tie. So I think Colombia actually ends up getting it back, but regardless, that would have been a goal to go 11-9. That was huge. Now it's 10-10. Oh, it's getting tight. It is stress, and it is the game that we have been waiting for. It is coming down to the wire. So obviously Colombia just got broken on a really long point. So Manu's out there on offense. They got some other folks, and then Claire Trop actually playing defense, primarily one of the offensive players. But hey, game's on the line. Got to get another break, and they want to get this downwinder again. So Colombia, that was so important they didn't score that downwinder, because now the U.S. went up, scored the upwinder, and now Colombia's got to do it. Otherwise, it's going to be a double break. So Claire is right here on the kind of near the top right of your screen. She's going to come down on Manu, and you're just going to see her play great defense here. So just watch this matchup right there. She's going to just fighting with her well. So you see Valeria try to break it, pops it up in the air, and another long combo. But Manuela eventually gives it up. Good spirit. Sportsmanship by her. Definitely not a foul. That was just a straight up hospital pass. So anyways, what ends up happening as we fast forward, and you're going to see Claire's just running along the end zone line, and U.S. ends up scoring there. So Claire coming in on defense, taking the Manuela matchup, winning it, and the U.S. is able to go up. So switch sides from O to D because Claire is primarily an offensive player. So kudos to her and the coaches. All right, so now it's 11-10. So the U.S. has now scored 3 in a row. Colombia's got to put this in. I want to show you Manuela cutting. She just does again, it feels like it's just Claire takes over, Manuela makes a great play, Claire makes a great play, and back and forth all game between the two. So Claire's not out there, but I just want to watch Manuela here. I just want to show you her cutting. Her cutting is just so good. So she's kind of waiting her opportunity. The D is tight, but Manuela's going to play with it, and she's just going to kind of use that and bounce off of her to make a nice cut. And watch what she does. So she realizes, okay, didn't get it. Cuts back the other way to give Valeria a different lane. And what I love is they just are so good at these tight little just flips to each other. Valeria is so good at that throw and go. She's going to do it again. They're just able to get so many almost free yards just because of that. Now, I just want to keep your eye on Manuela here. She's going to do that same type of fake one way and curve back on the other on the force side. So just watch this. She's about to get ready. She's going to flip it. Okay, so you can see Manuela. She's looking back. Okay, I know what's going on in her. She's like, okay, well, nobody's cutting. All right, here I'm going to take over now. So she's going to cut this way to the break. She's going to flip back around. So watch. Fake. Boop. And, I mean, that defender was just, totally fooled right there. Watch it again. She's going to take a little peek. Takes a little peek. Okay. So now up. It was so subtle. She just kind of went left, which, I mean, I get she's got to prevent that. Yina's got the disc. She can break the mark basically at will, but this is just too easy for the Colombians. So she's going to get it force side, able to get some yards there. And anyways, great cutting from Manuela, basically able to get the disc all the way up the field for Colombia. It's just really fun to watch. All right, so it's 12-11. Colombia has the disc. Yina's got it. USO just turned it over, so they've got a break chance, and everybody's on the field. Valerina, Yina, Manuela, all in the field right now. This is exactly what you want, going downwind. This is where Colombia can lock it up. If they put this in, this game is likely over. Yina throws a huck downwind and comes down with it. Manuela's got it. Okay, you are now 15, 18 yards out of the end zone. You've got to put this in downwind. All right. Manuela throws it. Valeria catches it. All right, Valeria, arguably their best thrower, right here in the center of the field. This is what she decides to do. A throwing away flick. So tough. I know she wants it back. Everybody wants it back. But these are just those little things. I'm sure she would have faked it. She's literally got Manuela with Claire Chastain guarding her, which is a much better matchup than Claire Trop. Manuela, Valeria, Yina all in the field. Remember, Manuela had mostly been playing just D, Yina and Valeria on offense. They had been crossing over, but all three of them are on the line going downwind. This was their opportunity to just go every other, the three of them, or the Cardenas sisters just go every other. But you know what? The excitement, the pressure, Valeria just throws it a little too far. No wind, probably would have been a completion, but downwind ended up being a turn. So the U.S. end up going upwind to score at 12, which is basically what happened earlier. Remember when Colombia was up 10-9? They missed. They dropped it. Torres dropped it in the end zone, and the U.S. women went up to score, and that's exactly what will happen here. Another missed opportunity for Colombia to close it out and have the chance at their first gold medal. So there you have it, folks. U.S. take down Colombia in a rematch of an earlier game in the tournament and the TEP final. Colombia obviously with some opportunities to go ahead late in the game, and I know they're bummed, but this is what happens. This is the highest. This is the pinnacle of our sport. The World Ultimate Championships, where the best players play on one team from each country, and Colombia has been coming up through the ranks for some time with all their young talent. And at the end of the day, I think it was great for the sport. I think regardless of who won, the fact that it was a great game is just great for the sport. I love that the division is competitive at the top level. I think that's what makes this women's division, at least, when we're talking about the finals, really the most exciting. So it's great for the sport. I hope I know Colombia is going to continue to have success. The Cardenas sisters, Yina, there's just so much talent there. And Mauricio's done a really outstanding job coaching them, and I have no doubt that they'll continue to fill, the pipeline with newer players, younger players, and keep building on that great program that they have in Colombia. So thanks for watching. If you got any comments, drop them down in the comments section below. If you got any other video ideas, feel free to shoot them my way. God bless.